Eric Sprott, Rick Rule, and Keith Neumeier are three successful resource investors coming together for one simple reason: to buy cheap assets from distressed companies and seize this once-in-a-decade opportunity to buy gold, silver, and other mineral projects for pennies on the dollar. First Mining Finance Corp., trading on the TSX Venture under FF, a recently launched venture with the sole purpose to acquire advanced stage natural resource projects, and starting on day one with 18 projects, management has already identified over 60 additional projects to acquire. Learn more about First Mining Finance at futuremoneytrends.com/investright.
I knew this was coming. There were warnings.
As we reported in our ECN Alert Tuesday, Bitcoin has seen a huge rally in the last few weeks. At a few points, it was actually up 100% month over month.
Doubled basically from just a few months ago, really spiking up. This is the first time in a while it feels like people are talking about Bitcoin again.
We say the following knowing it will likely be out of date within hours of release, but Bitcoin, after reaching as high as $500, has now settled down to the $375 range. The last time it reached $500 was over a year ago in August 2014. Chinese exchange BTCC, allowing direct deposits to the exchange, is one big reason for this rally. Oftentimes, the price in the yuan for Bitcoin leads the US dollar price when you calculate the currency conversion. The U.S. Marshals Service ran its final sale of Bitcoins they stole from the Silk Road seizure. They sold over 44,000, which is worth about $17 million. Winner of the 11 bidders in this auction won't be announced earlier than Monday. The number of bidders at an all-time low may be one reason sentiment turned down for Bitcoin at the end of the week. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon just came out and said virtual currency will be stopped.
When the DOJ calls someone up and says that's an illegal currency and it's against the laws of the United States of land, if you do it again, we'll put you in jail, it's over. Will be no real non-controlled currency in the world. There's no government that's going to put up with it for long. The technology will be used. It may even be used to transport currency, but it will be U.S. dollars.
We had a new guest interview releasing today, JSnip4, who discusses a recent WebBot prediction that was spot on for Bitcoin price to rise and fall around $408. And he said that silver is supposed to spike soon after this. Click here to watch. Silver and gold have seen a fairly bad week in terms of price, falling back under $15 and $1,110 per ounce respectively. The oil price is just slightly down from 1 week ago. The Greek bailout is back in the news, but not like it even left. The EU Commission Vice President said that unless Greece's 4 biggest banks are recapitalized before legislation takes effect in January, depositors will be liable for plugging capital shortfalls. The Eurogroup is pushing for recapitalization to happen no later than the 15th of this month. Some of the mandated economic reforms still need to be implemented to appease the creditors. Under the 86 billion euro bailout agreement, the left-wing government in Athens was supposed to enact 48 economic policy changes by mid-October to unlock 2 billion of the funds, but less than 1/3 of the changes still haven't been implemented as they're a challenge for the government to pass into law. Back to our own crisis at home. In a newly proposed bill, the U.S. Congress is admitting that Social Security is failing. This has happened after the Board of Trustees, which includes the Treasury Secretary, put out their 2015 report saying, frankly, Social Security as a whole, as well as Medicare, cannot sustain projected long-run program costs. The government should be giving the public adequate time to prepare. What this means is that anyone under 50 should be prepared to fend for themselves in terms of retirement funds. Senator Rand Paul came out to argue against the proposed Social Security funding reforms.
People say, well, we're going to spend it on disability. Well, the Social Security fund was put forward as a pension plan. You have an obligation to those who put the money in. So stealing money from people who will be getting money in the future to pay for immediate concerns is robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Our government is near grasping at straws at this point, as the disability insurance fund is set to be fully depleted in a matter of weeks. Obviously, mainstream media is not reporting on this cluster mess of serious budget problems America faces. Instead, CNBC is pumping propaganda such as boom, non-farm payrolls up 271,000, and reporting the fake government statistic that unemployment is at 5% flat now. The Dow Jones is now up over 200 points for the week, still waiting on a potential crash. The dollar index has almost recovered to a yearly high near 100 points, shooting up over 1% today on the unemployment news. A good question is, if the economy is doing so well, how come Janet Yellen just came out and admitted negative rates are on the table? With German Chancellor Angela Merkel visiting China once again, the Eastern Bloc is clearly on the rise as the West, especially America, is in decline. Stay tuned for more interviews on more topics from us, and subscribe for free for some upcoming profit potential trades and investments.